Hey everybody, this is Leon and today I'm gonna show you the media fragments support as well as UV coordinate support in the XR fragment standard. So first of all, you're probably like, what are media fragments? Well, it's basically a standard, a W3C standard. And even though this looks very overwhelming, it's basically, for example, this T is number, comma, number. It basically allows you to define a start position and an end position of your media. And this allows for a very cool media reuse. So I'm now searching for a video. So this is a video. Now copying this address. So pasting this URL. So now I can basically, let's say, start this video from 20 seconds till 26. And if I press enter, to create content with XR fragments, or without them actually. Boom, it stopped at 26. Exactly, it started from 20 and stopped at 26. So this is a standard, and this now works in XR fragments as well. So let me go to the example page here. Sorry for the sloppy internet connection here. It's a bit, and the frame rate. I'm also recording this video, so it might be a bit jaggy. So here is basically an XR fragments. It says T is 911 seconds, comma 917. So it plays for 6 seconds. If I press, and it loops, and it plays at speed 1.6. So S is 1.6 and it loops. If I press this, also let me remind you, there's also the share button. It presents a download scene file. So also let me remind you, there's also the share button. It presents a download scene file. So also let me remind you, there's also the share button. It presents a download. So as you can see, I'm talking with an incredible speed. There's no coffee which could allow me to do so, but this speed parameter just helped me with that, as well as the loop and the offset, the T is. So this works for videos. You can just define an SRC with this hash T, this whole string appended to it, and then you will have a video play at exactly that moment. You can also just go for a hey everybody, this is Leon, and this is the default setting, and yeah, so this is very handy. If you want to stop, you can just do T is 0, 0, and you might also wonder, why doesn't the mouse over show me this hash value? Well, this is because of URI Templates. It is a standard as well, and it allows you to, create URL templates. And in our case, it allows us to create URL or fragment templates. And let me show you in Blender what that looks like. Let me quickly load this file here. So yeah, let us go to this video player. So this is basically the video player. Let me quickly rotate. So I'm now selecting the video player. So here you can see an href video player is pause, but more importantly the SRC. So I will make this a little bit bigger. Well, basically what you can see here is a URL of an MP4 file with a hash and then a variable. And this is the URI template. So it basically evaluates the content of video player, which is a variable. If I press the play button, this one, then you can see that there is a href with video player is play. So it basically assigns the variable video player, which we just saw, to play. Well, what is play? This is a global one. Let's go to the scene variables. Here you can see play is T is 0 and S is 1. This is the media fragment. So it basically says start at 0 and play till the end, because there's no comma. And it sets the speed to 1. So this is basically how easy you can program. Well, programming is a big word, but you can just set templates for these template variables, which will then be appended. Let me go back to here. And this is very cool. This allows dynamic and reactive variables without programming. You can just use your 3D editor. Very, very cool, very powerful. And in a similar way, this button here, the stop button, here you can see video player is stop. And if we go back to the scene variables, you can see stop here. T is 0.0, so it stops at frame 0. Maybe also another funny thing you might have noticed is that, for example, if I press the play button, you will see here minus big play button in the href. So this is basically hiding the play button. So it's hiding itself because the name of this button is big play button. I don't know. Yeah, here you can see it, big play button. So once you press the href, it will hide itself. And when you press the stop button here, you can see it's showing itself because there's no minus here, which means show. And another aspect, like normally with XR Fragments you see these kind of links, but if you prepend the XRF protocol in front of it, then it will not be reflected in the top URL. And what that means is when you press the back and forward button of some experience, might be a website, might be a 3D experience like this, then so for example, now you can see the URL change to pos scene is 1, and now you can see the URL change to pos world is 2. If I press back, then the URL changes back to that one. But with interactions, you don't want your navigational path to be cluttered with navigations, and that's where these XRF semicolon / URLs come in. They allow you to basically publish an XR fragment or execute it without updating the URL and without cluttering up your navigational path according to the back and forward button. So that is a small handy way to sort of, do interactions and don't affect the URL. So another thing is that we actually have UV coordinates. And just to quickly, so if you want to scroll UV coordinates, which are basically a fancy word of saying scrolling triangular geometries, then these buttons will do it for you. So there is a XYH media fragment, but this only applies to rectangular geometry. So I was trying to shoehorn this into XR fragments, but I realized it doesn't make any sense. Triangles are not rectangles, so it was not really a clean way to do it. So what I did, I introduced a UV primitive which allows you to scroll. I'm now pressing it. Triangular geometry. So basically the texture is now being scrolled on the x-axis, and in triangular data this is called u, the u coordinate. And I can also do it the other way. So this is basically plus, and here it says minus, which means position the UV coordinate relatively. If I would leave out the minus or plus, it would be an absolute value, which is also possible. But so this allows us to relatively scroll a texture or other kind of shaders. Doesn't matter, it can be anything. As well as if you use the third and fourth coordinate, which is speed, then here you can see speed is 1,1, which is maximum speed, which means instant. So it's not tweening, it's like snapping to the next iteration of plus 0.1 or minus 0.1. If we introduce a plus, a relative value in the speed, then it will basically increment also relatively according to the current position. So this allows you to do smooth horizontal auto scroll or smooth vertical auto scroll. So this can also be used for text, images, or videos. I don't know why you want to scroll that, but it could be interesting and definitely possible. And this is something which is missing from the media fragments, as well as actually the speed and loop primitive, which I have introduced. So they are sort of supported by the demo, but they are not official media fragment specs. Here you can see media fragments. Here you can see that the T is documented here. It's also applying to the 3D scene. So for example, here you can see that if you use it in the top level URL, this is basically replacing this, and you can see it's controlling the currently loaded 3D scene. And in a similar way, if you append it to an SRC, so here you can see this is an external SRC, you could also append it here, and then it would load that particular segment of the animation, which can also be very, very useful, because you could create a whole game by using specific animation ranges, and you could sort of unlock those by clicking hrefs. So this is, again, it is really amazing how much you can do without programming and with simple URI templates and media fragments and XR fragments. It's really ridiculous how much we are programming, boys and girls, and in betweens. This is a short demo. Check out the latest version on the website. So yeah, I hope this wasn't too overwhelming, but yeah, the basic idea is media fragments, XR fragments, that's all you need. Cheers.